Make a motion.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Old business, voting on bids for meter on the city diesel tank that was given. Who wants to talk about that?
I don't know.
I haven't even seen that.
The bids are, you've got them, Kenny?
No. Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The diesel one don't work. Well, one part does, the main part doesn't, so you can't keep track of nothing. So I got a quote from Diamond Oil, which does our fuel and everything now. As you can see, installed is $325. And I went to Quick Oil and got a quote. When he first talked to me, he said 9 something, but now he sent me one, it was 5 something.
Is it, so what if it breaks in here? Any kind of guarantee with it?
I'd have to ask him.
And this is installed, correct?
So,
Okay.
you just like the one that's on there, unleaded.
So we have an unleaded tank out there and a diesel tank,
Yes.
and the one on the unleaded works,
Yeah, that's not that old.
and the diesel one is what we're
The one's
replacing. We get both our fuels from Diamond,
Yep.
and we don't know about any kind of guarantee or anything like that.
I can, if you answer the phone call and ask him.
That's okay, whatever.
Well, that kind of price, they probably, they might give you a year.
But $325 is for the meter and place.
Install.
That's pretty
We'll
good.
shoot that.
Then we need to figure out some kind of a book or something to put in the shed or something, have it, and write down the meter reading anytime anything's filled up.
And what vehicle it went in?
Yeah,
Like I just put fuel in the fire truck this afternoon, and I just told him how we get it.
Yeah, but what truck was it?
He just wanted to know.
Well,
He said fire department.
Yeah, we need to know what truck.
And can we do a,
47.
can we do a mileage thing on that too? Maybe Mary could make us like a spreadsheet or something where you put the truck, the mileage, the date, how many gallons, and that. I mean, does that sound like that's reasonable?
Those meters, and if you keep track of it in that book, when it comes time to do your budget, we'll make it very simple for you for fuel.
Right.
And it's hit and miss.
you know, I don't know about city, but I'm required to keep track of, when, for the farm use, you gotta know, write it down for deduction.
So we could have something made up out of the office here that is some kind of a spreadsheet that then is filled out for each one separate.
I mean, you got numbers on all your fire trucks, you just put that in the truck, and there's numbers.
That's fine.
That's all you gotta do.
I have a question.
Yes.
Mark, does all the fire trucks have keys? Or how?
For the ones that need to go out there.
Not everybody.
No, just it's in each truck.
Okay.
So how,
Not every truck that the fire department has goes out there.
so how many keys do you think that is?
It'll be 45, 42, 47, 43. That's it.
So 5 keys.
Okay. There's one for the padlock to get in the gate and one for the padlock on the tank.
Yeah, we gotta keep making sure we lock it, because we seem to be inherited tires and other stuff out there gets rolled off in the weeds from someplace, I don't know from where,
There's the 2 ambulances and the rescue truck.
Okay, if I got a motion to buy this thing, or
but I motion for us to buy.
Which one?
Which one, Kenny?
Diamond Oil.
Okay.
I'll second.
Aye.
Aye.
motion carried.
Oh.
Okay, we're down to discussion with this Grundon property. I'll start off a little bit with Roger. He's got all the paperwork, I think. I stopped, and when I told you I walked around it, it's a mess. I was mainly hunting for bees or something.
Oh, I didn't know that you had been there. You said you were thinking that you had to go if it got warm
I
up.
told you I was gonna, you told me to be careful, don't be going in, it was dangerous, remember?
Okay. I remember asking you weren't gonna go in, but that's okay.
Anyway, I went there, and there's, I don't know how you wanna proceed with it, but there's aluminum step ladders laying around, and there's tools in the place yet. I don't know how good they are, but maybe you know. Toolboxes.
You probably don't want to be spreading it out, everything that's there at this point.
Well, they're all rusty and everything, you know. But I looked around it, I think I had some paperwork on it last meeting, I had some paperwork. Man, you got anything to add?
I don't think the building's safe to go into.
No, it's not. I didn't go in.
And
I
I'm
just stuck my
really
head in
concerned
there.
about that, but I think I'm gonna take Mark maybe or a fireman and just try, because I need to look inside, see what's in there. But I really don't want anybody going inside the building.
You might wanna take your shotgun with you, might be a big coup in there.
I
Just
know.
one.
You probably, is it in Junction's name now?
Yes,
Maybe we should get some tape.
I thought about getting no trespass signs, it's up to you guys. But we gotta do something out there so people know not to go on there.
Right.
'Cause even
There is a lot of stuff.
we're still responsible if we get hurt, even though they trespass.
Okay, so answer me this, I'm not gonna go out there and snoop around and see what's there, I'm gonna trust you guys. Is there a lot of metal that can be scrapped?
There isn't as much as I thought. I mean, there's,
I think once you go through it, you
Be surprised.
just have to pick through it, but I think there's a lot of it.
There was four or five snowmobiles out there in the weeds someplace.
yeah, I saw two out there in the back.
It's on the north side of the building.
Yeah.
Aren't we wanting to get a little bit of money out of some of that scrap of some sort? Are
Well, let
we-
me ask you this, how much time do you want us to spend on it?
Well, it's gonna cost you to bring in those, dumpsters, I don't know how much they are.
But we have a dump trailer.
Yes, we do.
We have a dump trailer. Couldn't we fill that trailer with metal and scrap it ourselves? Not when we need.
We could, but it's gonna take some time.
Are we thinking we're gonna have this cleaned up overnight or
No,
within,
no.
I mean,
Well, we're using the trailer for trees right now too, we don't wanna leave it full, or wait until we get it full, here's some, then.
right, but I figure you take a day, you fill it, you take it over, and then the next day you work on trees.
Yeah.
You know?
If you know which salvage yard you're going to, if you're gonna take it there, they'll furnish you a dumpster. And you can, or they used to, I don't know about now, you know. So,
I
you
don't,
can go through,
Matt
either you can hire somebody to do this, or Rod and I talked, maybe you can get some volunteers to help clean up, you know?
I don't wanna hire somebody to do something. It already cost us X amount of money. I would like
What
to
they
see.
won't, what they'll do is they'll clean it up for the junk, I imagine.
And then we're still not
That's right.
making a
We
dime.
went through that
Yeah.
10 years ago.
And so if,
let's let someone, let them go in and see what's there and give some kind of determination of what we're gonna need to clean it up before we make this decision. I mean, they need to go look
right,
in the house and in the building and around the property, and they can kind of get an idea of how much trailers, or what they're gonna need to get it all.
what's your thoughts on it, Rod? What, if you had an idea, what's your idea? Throw it out here.
Just light it on fire,
Well, okay, so here's the deal.
you know?
Somebody we know, push it all into the house or the building or whatever you're saying. The firemen do a controlled burn. Then we can take whatever metal out of it and clean it up. I don't
I
know.
think it'd be easy to take the metal out before you burn it.
Because you aren't dealing with the nails and stuff.
So then here's the deal. Why not just pile up the metal? I mean,
Now, I thought about doing that too.
pile up the metal
I
and
think you're gonna find a bunch of metal in the basement.
pile up the metal and then we can take sealed bids for who wants to come get that metal out of there. You know,
Maybe
take it away.
close the street that's south of there.
Yeah.
And then just put it all on the street, because we're gonna have to mow it too.
Mhm.
But there's so much stuff out there.
Right.
I say get the bucket, put the forks on, just start picking it up and putting it out there.
Well, you don't wanna put it on the road, why don't you just mow a spot in the grass and take it to that, you don't wanna stick it on the road.
Can't we just,
But
can't we
we don't
block
want-
off that
It's not
road?
like-
We really don't want people driving on that road, snooping around in what you're doing though either. you
Yeah,
know?
if you just lay it out there in the road, you think you're gonna drive up there and park and you're gonna, oh, okay.
Yeah, but you think putting it in the grass, they're not gonna do that?
Well,
You know?
Yeah, what if the fire truck's gotta get around and go that way to go to the hydrant? You got two ways into that hydrant, this way, you got that way.
Where's the hydrant at from that?
It's on the dump gate.
Does it work?
You
Yes.
can't go,
No.
excuse me,
Which we won't use until the end of September anyway.
Brad said that hydrant works.
Yes, it works.
I say we just go look at it and see what we have.
But after you burn it, it's harder to sort that.
Yeah, it would be much easier to take, what you don't want out there, leave it in there, burn it, I mean, the dressers or beds or something, matches. But I changed the water meter there many years ago. I had to crawl into the basement. I never seen so many different type of engine parts in that, in one little spot in my life.
It was bad enough, as soon as the judge saw the pictures, he went, he actually stood there on his bench. That was a no-brainer, you guys can have it. He said this,
Next time I'll show you.
this is, let's say.
Yeah.
is,
Some of those might be worse than Lego, who's what?
Who's gonna sort all that out? I'm gonna figure out. If you just won't throw it all in the dumpster,
I don't want to just say, here, we're gonna pay you guys to clean it up. I wanna earn a little chunk of change, even if it's,
then you got people clean it up. Well, I'd like to have that. I'd like to have that.
now, if we end up needing to have a volunteer day, what are we thinking the volunteers would do to help clean it up?
I don't think you want volunteers.
I don't like that idea either.
Pretty dangerous.
It's not safe to be down in there with the volunteers cleaning that up.
You put the bucket on the tractor, you can, like I said, if you're using a trailer, you can fill it up and dump it in the trailer. That way you're not having to do a whole lot of carrying. You know, you just go from here to there, put it there, and then you take it over there and dump it, go back and get another load.
and then what you get in the trailer is what you get in the trailer.
Yes.
But the problem
I mean-
is you still have to separate the tires from, because if you put tires in there, then they're gonna start charging you extra.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not gonna take tires at any junkyard unless.
You ought to remember the tractor or you might injure a tire.
Yeah, we
I
could
put
lose some
13
tires.
On that skid loader when I did this area here.
Is this something, I had to step out, but is this something that we want to kind of put out there? Hey, give us a bid or whatever what would you give us for whatever metal is out there and hire some, or let somebody pay us to come in and what they get. They could, but with that, it needs to state before you can take any metal off the property, it has to be cleaned up. You put the metal over here, you clean it up, then we'll say okay to taking the metal. Otherwise, they're gonna take what they want, they're gonna be gone, and we're gonna be left with the junk. Is that something that's feasible?
I wonder how many tires are there.
Here's the deal, I feel like, take the road, block it off, you pile the tires here, you pile the metal. You make kind of defined piles. And then you can see, this is how much metal, this is how much tires, and the rest of the junk, you just heave-ho it into the building or the house or whatever it is.
So you're seeing if it's even worth.
Exactly. I mean, again, we have this pile of metal that we either, one, decide to put on our dump trailer and take over and get the money ourselves, or we put out there, we want sealed bids. How much would you give us for this pile of metal? Well, and the sealed, and we go from there
Be
with
aware
that.
that iron prices are down considerably.
I don't even have a clue about
But
that.
by the time they
Yeah.
get this cleaned up, they could be, I mean, it's a roller coaster, right?
The prices usually go up between February and March. There's some that used to have for some reason they go up during those months.
But like I said, this isn't something that happened overnight. And we, as long as we're moving forward with getting it cleaned up, I think that's a step in the right direction. And there's also what's called a betterment committee. And maybe they would be able to help get stuff done. And that is out there. I think Rod kind of has been.
You got the paperwork that says that we can do this, right?
From the judge, yeah, but we're waiting on the title, it should have been here today, but it's ours,
Okay,
it's ours.
it seems like we always make a little mistake somewhere, somebody gets.
Well, I mean, we're probably not gonna go out
We haven't done this before.
today. Yeah, we haven't made a mistake. We don't, but I mean, it's not like we're gonna go out today or tomorrow. I mean, we're gonna, it's gonna take, I'm guessing a week anyway. If we made a decision today, we probably couldn't get started on doing anything for a week anyway. And if it was supposed to come in today and, we give it a couple more days.
Well, you remember to do a couple of things. One, I don't know if the power's been cut off the house.
There's no power, no water.
Right.
So it's 2016.
Well, then you need to, make sure the gas pipe is cut off. You need to call the gas company. They'll come in and cut it off, won't cost a thing.
Could take a month from now, though.
Well, it might take, that's why I say go ahead and call
They'll
them.
jump right on that.
No, but call them so they can come and do that.
So are you, Laura, thinking then that we should have a group of people, or some of us, or Rod and Kenny and Mark go out and clean this up? Is that what you're thinking? Or are you thinking get bids to have somebody else come in? What will you give us to come in and take the iron and clean it up and that? What's,
My problem with that is that's what they'll do is take the iron and leave.
That's why one of us has to be there and make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and if one of us has to be there, that's.
Please remember when you say that the water's cut off, but I don't think, it's just cut off maybe from the house. If you happen to be pushing stuff and you hit that line, you're gonna yank it out clear back at the curb, and then you're gonna have a hell of a leak you're gonna have to fix. So make sure it's.
I'm just going by what Dean said.
I know, I've seen it happen many times. Yeah, you cut it off the house and somebody's pushing that in, they catch that line, now you got a leak,
Dean will have
now
to
you
go
got
down
a
and
leak
mark
clear
that
over
out.
here.
Number one call, let know that good stuff.
Just need to be aware of that.
Yeah.
And then drain.
I don't know what the best way to
You
proceed.
What is it, you have to,
With-
supposed to plug the sewer, right, Jerry? There's a certain way you have to do that too.
I don't even know, I got to look at the sewer line, I don't even know where that sewer line goes.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Dean says, I cut the water off at the main. So the water is cut off at the main,
Did he physically go down or just shut it off there?
physically cut off at the main.
Okay, then we don't have to worry about it.
Right.
But if it's,
I'm sorry, I got a text.
usually
but
people shut it off right
He's
there at the
listening
main.
to this and he's clarifying for us, so I
Great.
apologize, I'm not just.
Yep.
No, that's good, because most of the times, they just shut it off out there at the main, that valve.
Mhm.
Then
So
someone,
like curb car,
Curb
it might not even be clear up the main, it's still in the yard, you know.
I guess I would like to see that we hire somebody, that we split the money made.
lots of luck there.
You don't think,
Iron prices are pretty pitiful.
okay.
I got a text to a guy that does that. I'm seeing what his thoughts.
Any idea how like Jefferson does this? Or, I mean, we can't be the only small town that has had this issue.
I think they have Murphy do most of their stuff.
Yeah, Andy Murphy does probably all of it.
And they hire him to do it, to go in and clean it up, and then what he
I
gets,
gave you
he
another
gets.
number too. Remember
Okay,
that from Perry?
yes,
You could try them, give them a call too. You could
to see
get two or
if,
three of them.
to see if they will do it for
Yeah.
free.
I got,
Just for the cost of metal, but here's the deal, we're not gonna gain a thing but a clear lot. I still feel like we need to get some,
I think maybe you need to go with Rob when he's going in there to look at it. You might change your own
no, I
mind.
don't want to, I got to, I just
No.
wanna make it dime.
Pretty easy to say.
Yeah, I think you need to go with it. You need to see it.
I can go down there, and, I mean, I can drive by it and see it,
Well, you ain't gonna see nothing driving by. You're gonna have to walk in there. And you might change your
Snakes
whole.
out of the way.
And so,
I'm
I'll
not,
take
snakes
pictures
are
for you,
fine,
Laura.
snakes are fine.
and so your idea is if we're gonna do it, either we do it and volunteers or whatever clean it up, or we hire somebody. Am I understanding that
But
wrong?
if you could get someone, yeah, we wouldn't get nothing, but if we could get someone to come up there and do it just for what they're gonna get and not have to put any money out, but we're not gonna make any money either.
Just on,
Yeah, that's when later burn down.
Yes, we'd have to go in later and burn it down.
but they've got to stay out of the house just to clean up
Well,
what's
that's-
around it.
I mean, no, you can't believe that. I can tell you before, years ago, that basement was full of car parts. I mean, it was solid. I had to crawl in a little hole to get back there.
Excuse me? Please be quiet.
Okay, is there
Um,
asbestos in that house? Because if there is, that's gotta be taken out first.
Okay.
Wilbury, so you're saying like somebody will need to get in the house and take the car parts out before?
Well, yeah, you don't want to burn that stuff in there. It's a hell of a mess. It's like what you're gonna have up there for the grocery store. You're gonna have all that, you don't take it out before you burn it. The stuff you don't want to take, leave it in there. I mean, there's gonna be beds, I'm sure. There's gonna be dressers.
So whoever we get bids, if we go down that route, that somebody else does this, it's gonna have to be, I mean, it can't just be any specific person, can it? I mean, if someone's gonna go in that house and get hurt, how are we set up for that?
Well, I think you can get probably down in the basement. It's right there as you first go in. If we have to, we could shut the
Volunteer work, you know, you got a thing to sign. If you're gonna hire
Right,
somebody, you
right.
gotta have proof of insurance.
Right, but then, who are you gonna get to do this for free unless they're getting
Well,
all of
the last guy
the,
did it for nothing, if he got the iron, he cleaned it up.
and did he clean it up back then and all of that?
Cleaned it up, the whole thing, everything around, no iron, no nothing. He didn't go in the house, you know.
So everything was done on the outside.
You know, everything outside,
Do you,
three dumpsters full.
do you think that we could do that again? Do you think that that is a feasible thing?
Well, let's try.
Because then at least we're not losing money by paying somebody to do it. And if iron prices are really low, how much are we gonna have to get to offset the cost of this?
Yeah, I'm trying, I can't remember what he said it was a ton. It was 24 or, it ain't very much. We're not taking questions.
We can keep kicking it around.
Well, I'd like to get something going.
We need to go look. Rob, somebody needs to go in there and look, but yeah, he's probably right. Yeah, there could be parts worth something in that house, but who's gonna determine that? You wanna spend, look on a computer, is this part worth this, is that part
That's
worth it?
right.
You be spending your whole damn time trying
And then you
to.
gotta find somebody that wants that.
Right,
I
right.
mean, it might be worth $500, but if you don't know the person, and then you gotta mail it.
But even then, that stuff's been setting in that house for all this time. Is it even any good? And once again, which one of us wants to say, oh, this is a Model A part? Boy, that's really worth a lot of money. We could find somebody and there you go. I mean,
Well, I think the first step is you need to block it off with signs in that south and west road, block it off. You don't need to be driving down there.
yeah, they don't have
Block it
to.
off, and Kenny, me, or Rod, or somebody will go look it over. And
I say, if you want to, me and him and the assistant chief will go walk through it.
You guys go ahead. I'm gonna be like Laura, because I don't
Yeah,
like snakes.
I don't either.
I don't mind snakes, I believe you guys.
I just wish you could look, you ain't gonna.
I believe you when you tell me it's full of
you
junk.
couldn't hardly, I walked through the backyard, you couldn't really walk, the grass is tall, and it's full of iron and junk.
Mowing's gonna be the very last
Falling
thing you're gonna be able to do if it's full of stuff. I mean,
Well, you can walk a little bit of the ground, there's some pretty good spots that you can mow pretty easily that doesn't have anything in it.
down.
But you gotta physically walk it before you mow it.
So-
Like Laura says, you know, you start grabbing that iron and put it to the north up there where it's mowed, pile it, start piling it.
But who's gonna do that?
Well, we need to get a couple
That's
of
the
people
thing.
that are interested. Call it.
So we think that
I got him.
We think that somebody will seriously say, okay, I will clean this up, and when I say clean it, remove the metal.
I
push,
know there is, I've already been approached.
push all the burnable stuff into the house. And it will be, when they get all their stuff done, all we'll have to do is have a controlled burn by the fire department. That's what, and
Well,
we'll
I
never have
they're
to,
gonna cut down the junk trees and the limbs and stuff.
As soon as we're done here, me, Jason, and Rod's gonna go down and look at it.
And do we want no trespassing signs?
Yes.
We want to take.
Have we got enough of that tape and signs to block it all?
Signs I'll have to find. I know we got signs,
You don't know?
tape, I don't know if I've got enough.
but again, so the person you're talking, you had,
Jay.
Robert,
Yeah.
okay,
Scrap.
he's gonna come.
I don't know.
But I mean, what we're proposing for this person is, we want you to come and take all the scrap metal out, and that's what your payment's gonna be. But you're also gonna throw the junk in the house, you're gonna push up the junk, you're gonna get the tires off to the side, you're gonna blah, 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 blah. So seriously, when that person is done, all we have to do is say, hey, fire department, we'd like a controlled burn scheduled for this. Right?
Hopefully we can coop enough money to pay for the tires that we're gonna have to pay to get.
Again, is that what we're wanting this person
Which,
to do?
before we burn, we need to check with DNR and see if we can.
Absolutely, and I'm not saying, I just say this cleanup person.
Right.
This cleanup person isn't just gonna come grab the metal and throw everything else behind him and you know what I mean? We're still, I'm just trying to get a handle on
And I don't
what,
know how much of that Matt does. until
Right, and
he gets back to me.
and that's what I'm asking about.
So part of them taking the metal,
Should be working
cleaning
for
it up too.
I mean, when you tell me they're gonna come clean up this lot, I don't expect them, I mean, in my mind, it's clean it up. It's,
So are we gonna get 2 or 3 people to, we're not just gonna say, hey, you, no, we're gonna get 2 or 3 and decide who or.
well, here's the deal, we need to get 2 or 3 bids, we need to get 2 or 3, as many, or people bid on it, and they take those sealed bids to our lawyer.
There you go.
The sealed bids go to the lawyer, so there's no more anything of
There you go.
what's going downtown with them. I don't know, I'm wanting to get a feel, I mean, I just wanna know. You tell some people, clean it up for the metal, they're gonna just take the metal out of that, and we're still gonna be stuck with a lot that's got trash all over the place.
Maybe the lawyer could draw something up, some little flaky thing up that they have to sign, that they read that this is all the
Yes,
stuff
that
you're
they're
gonna do.
going to clean it up to our satisfaction. And then they have to have some kind of insurance too. I mean, we just can't have anybody going in there and doing this, because now that the city owns it, if they get hurt because of something even stupid that they did, then we're liable for that. So we need to have them.
Well, that guy in Perry is his own, he's got no equipment, but you know, maybe he's his own in everything. I mean, it's insurance and that's what he does for a living.
So do we want to take,
I mean, that's just another name you can throw into the group and see if they want to come.
I'm like you, I don't wanna pay nothing.
right, I don't want to pay anything. And if we've got more than one person, let's put it out on bids. See, and like Laura said, sealed bids, they are taken to our attorney's office and the attorney holds them for, 2-3 weeks, whatever. And then he can open them or,
If we want to get it moving, we want to make him open them up quicker, 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, it's just like the thing we fixed behind the water plant. We were 5-6 weeks before we ever got anyone. We go 5 or 6 weeks, look how we're
Right.
gonna be into the
yeah, we're
snow.
going to be into
I
snow.
think we need to, if we're going to do this, put it out there, we want bids.
Want it done by.
We need to specify, like what I just said, it's not just taking the metal, you go, like I said, I want there to be a spot that's gonna be burned at some point. Throw everything there, burn it, that's what we're gonna be left with, everything else is spotless.
Start with the outside first, and this first round is strictly the outside of the house. And let's get that cleaned up. And then second go around, once the outside is done, then we do the inside. If we can even get in there or whatever, that would give everybody time to take a look. Does that make sense? Do the outside,
Has
that's the
house-
worst.
Well, that's what you got.
If you got somebody there doing the metal, he probably is not gonna, if there's a lot in the basement, he's probably not gonna come back.
Is the house condemned?
Is the house what?
condemned? No.
No,
I'm sorry.
Does it need to be?
I'll look at it and I'll let you know. I looked at the porch and it's like,
Right off of the porch, or right in there in the porch, clear to the west, the basement's down in there.
okay.
So we could probably shut the porch off and be out of your way, then you could just go right down into the basement. I'm just saying, but I put to a motion, let's do it. Like you wanna do it. Take some bids.
Do we need to think about this at all? Take a look at things a little bit before we jump into this, or?
Should wait till whatever they say, whatever they find, then that's gonna put us 2 more weeks to the next meeting, right? Or 3, 4?
What are they gonna find that's gonna be different than what you've said? I mean, it's junk. I mean, whether you can get in and out of the basement,
Basically, I wanna see if it's even worth going inside. If the floor, the main floor is soft and you're gonna fall through,
See,
it's not worth it.
we may have to demolish first before we done,
Okay,
because of.
But-
I don't know if shingles got asbestos, what kind of siding
Right.
it's got.
Well, we're gonna have to-
Get tangled up in that shit again.
once we check, I mean, once you get to the house part of it, we will have to, before we can burn it, it's gonna be,
Well, if you can get it in a pile, then you don't need it. But if you burn it, then there's asbestos. Look what you're dealing with, everything is considered.
And that's the way.
before we can take the house down at all, no matter how we do it, we have to have an asbestos check.
Well, I hate to spend the money, but I don't wanna get in the middle of the deal again.
I was told it's $300 to $400 to have a check.
And it might be,
No matter how you look at it, we're gonna, I mean, whether we're gonna burn it, we're just gonna bulldoze it, or we're gonna just sit and look at it, it's gonna have to be asbestos checked, and I'm not disputing that by any means.
but to start with, our first goal is to get the outside cleaned up, correct? And then once we get that done, I mean, it's probably not going to happen in 3 weeks, but if we at least had a start, then by the next council meeting, then we might know where we're at to determine what's going on with the house.
And
Well, the only thing I would say is if it's, when you go there and determine it, you look where I told you, if you think it's feasible that we can go in that basement, we just shove that portion of that porch off, then you can go right down into that basement, because there won't be no house over, or no, right over there, and you can, all that, if there is still that metal and stuff down there, take it all out and get rid of all the metal in one goddamn shot.
And on a side note, the Betterment Committee helps take care of the cost of asbestos checking. That's part of their deal. I'm not pushing the Betterment Committee, but just know that
And are they county, tell me,
they're part of citizens of Grand Junction
okay,
that have worked hard to obtain different homes that were left, and they get rid of them. They
So-
take care of it.
I guess I'm interested to learn more about the betterment.
Mhm.
How do I find out?
I can give you information.
Okay, thank you.
So I feel like, once again,
I'm gonna make a motion that we put out there that we are taking bids to clean it up. Let's see what we get. I think we need to also include that cleaning up is cleaning
More
up.
satisfactory.
And
Time frame.
sealed bids to be turned into our lawyer. And I don't know, do we put that out there like on Facebook?
I think we probably have to run an ad in the
Run it
paper.
out in the
would be
paper, is
my-
that what we do?
but also, you do not have to take the lowest bid you want. You've already went through that down there, you wanna, if they don't do. you gotta
Well,
have
they're gonna have to
apples
do what we want them to do, obviously, no, we don't have to take, we all know that, we don't have to
Okay.
take the lowest bid, I don't know.
So we're taking bids to clean it up to our satisfaction
Yeah.
and then give them a time limit.
Yes.
And are we going to stress, this is strictly the outside of the house? I know that you think that nobody is coming back if they can't get into the inside of the house, but
I'm just talking about, if you see where the basement's at, it's really not, It's just an old raggedy porch, and you can probably go down with the tractor, shove the front of the little bit of the front off, and it just like going right down
You're
there.
talking about the east porch or
No,
the south?
The south porch on the west side.
So it's like a drive-in basement? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's hardly big enough to crawl in.
I feel like if you take out part of the house, the whole house might just come down, and then you won't be worried about what's in that basement. But on the other hand, you're gonna have to
Look at it
decide,
and determine.
gonna have to decide, yeah, you guys are going to check it out. And I guess one of you put your foot on that floor to see if it's smushy or you fall in. Please don't fall in. But it's gonna be up to your judgment. And if it's not safe for anybody to go in, then it's staying down there. I mean, that's no ifs, ands, or buts. But I still think let's give a 2-week time frame to get bids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's too late
Okay.
for this week.
And then-
I think if it's in by tomorrow, we
Can't
can
be,
make Friday.
fooling around waiting for him 3 weeks to open
it's
the
a
bids.
crawl space that it is. It's not even a basement.
Okay.
Dean says it's a crawl space.
Yeah, not very big, but he had car parts that would not
So
quit.
this crawl space is like dirt floor,
Yes,
dirt walls.
I don't,
We may not
So-
take any bids, put in there, we could reject all bids and do something else, you know, we may have a whole different.
I'm not.
Idea kind of where it looks at.
I don't like spiders.
No.
No.
But
So you got more.
No,
why don't we just take bids? How about if we take bids and we'll get them and we'll open another council meeting, which I realize seems like that's a long ways off, Kenny, but it's not. It's 2 weeks
So,
plus.
we don't wanna be in the winter months for this thing.
right,
Well,
so,
it's not gonna affect us. It's gonna affect the guy that's cleaning it up. And he's gonna know that he's gonna be working in the cold or whatever.
and chances are, we've had some nice Decembers too. I mean, generally, you're not up to your eyeballs in snow in December. Please don't let it be this year that happens. So, but once again, are we going, we're just gonna clean up the outside of this place? Nobody's allowed
Whole shebang.
inside?
Again, it's gonna
Everything?
depend
lock,
on,
stock, and barrel.
it's gonna depend on what these guys find out.
Okay, if they
Yeah.
find out that, hey, it's safe to go in, then whoever's gonna get the bid on this gets anything and everything that's in there.
That's the way to do it. Have it over.
And then we're out of it, and then the town will take care of burning it when that, and what about like tires or stuff like that? Are they responsible for getting rid of that too, or are we filling dumpsters and we have to pay for that?
Tell me, what do you do with old tires?
You gotta
Legally.
recycle them, and if they're on a rim, first you gotta have them broke down, that costs money, then you gotta recycle. I think now it's $6 or $7 for a car tire, maybe more. A pickup tire's,
$20 tire.
and, if you get into the tractor tire, if he's got any of them out there laying in the
Tell
thing,
me how you recycle,
Yeah,
what,
it's-
I get to take them off the rim, but then you recycle them. Where do you,
well, I don't know where they go, but you have to take it to a place that does tires, and you have to pay them to take the tire. It's
Okay.
like, when you change your tires up at Thorpe, he charges you for leaving your old tires. Cause he's gotta send them to a recycler, who comes up to his place and gets them, and Thorpe has to pay him so much per tire, depending on which tires they are. A semi tire, I think, was,
right?
who knows, $40 maybe, I don't know.
So I guess if this guy would, or this particular person would take the tires, and that's
I
great.
took all the town tires one
But-
time, that cost me $700.
Well, I'm guessing you're not gonna take these then, are you?
No,
Didn't think so. But I mean, I guess if the guy that's cleaning up will take the tires, let him, and if he says, I'll clean everything up with tires, and we'll find a spot to put these tires, and we'll have to recycle them ourselves, right?
At the cost, and the cost. goes-
Well,
Well, I'm just saying, so that cost goes up every year on the tires.
but I'm just saying, there's no other option. We're not gonna put them
Right.
in your yard.
Right.
We're not gonna transfer them to Mark's yard.
But part of his cleanup is, just so that I understand this, because I feel like I'm lost in the whole mess here. Part of his cleanup is he's going to bid on cleaning up the whole thing. If it's safe to go inside, outside, the whole thing, and haul the junk away, and then he gets the metal. Is that my understanding correctly?
Haul junk away.
what junk?
Junk is the metal.
There's not anything else that's junk that
If it's just old furniture inside, except for refrigerators or TVs.
everything that's outside is metal that would be worth something to him. I mean, there's no anything else. It's all metal outside, junk metal outside, correct?
Well, basically, it's snowmobile, got a plastic hood, but it's metal.
If it can burn, it needs to like be heaved towed into the house or by the house, so eventually we can, I assume.
Just put a bid out for the whole thing, take it, tires.
Tires and all.
Tires and all, clean the whole thing up. And you can have all the metal and wonderful treasures
And we're not
to be
gonna,
had.
we're not
We'll
gonna,
start getting picky in there.
Right, I'm just trying to understand.
we're not gonna, I think there was a couple old motorcycles laying around there. We're not gonna go do work to figure out a title on some old motorcycle.
Right. Okay,
Make a motion,
So you want to put it in there, take the whole thing. that's
So I make a
fine.
motion, we get sealed bids, we have them delivered to our lawyer, and we'll review what bids we have at our next council meeting.
There
And
you
this
go.
is to clean up everything, tires, metal, everything.
Yeah,
So
that
all-
property.
Right, so all we have, and all we have to do is when that person is done, worry about the burning of the structure. And that will be the next step.
Meantime,
when-
we're gonna go look at it, and he's gonna take it
And-
off and put trespassing.
Right, Now, when I
It's
said-
good, but still.
when I say we're taking bids, do you need to contact the person you know in Perry and say, hey, you know,
Give her the card.
or,
And I give
you
it to
know, if
Rod.
you know
Rod's
somebody
got it.
that you're gonna do or whatever, do we put it in the paper? Are we putting an ad in the paper that says we are taking bids for the cleanup of this property?
and your payment will be the iron, metal treasures
That's right.
that you find on there. I don't want people to go, oh, they're taking bids.
We'll
Hey, I'll
probably
do
have
it
to,
for,
at
you
different
know.
times after whoever comes to bid on it, one of us will have to be there with them.
And that's what I'm saying, we're gonna also need, I don't think we want just this particular, anybody just going in there looking by themselves. They need to be, I don't know, supervised, chaperoned by Rod or Kenny or whatever.
I think Paul would be good.
If I need to, I will, but
No.
I won't be any good with it. but-
Well, I was thinking like Rod, because he's already been out there and he kind
There you
of
go.
knows. And do we want to put his phone number or the city's phone number on their contact for?
We have an answering machine here, right?
Your
Yes.
phone number of the city.
Put the city's, just a minute, put the city's phone number, leave a message.
Yeah.
And because we don't want to give his, I mean. that's-
Right, to leave a message to view property? Okay. Okay, and then at the next council meeting, then we will have, the attorney get it to us in a sealed envelope or whatever on that day?
You're allowed to have fly-by-night people come in, tell them they gotta have proof of insurance.
Okay,
And I'm just still wondering, you know, you're worried about what's in the crawl space and stuff. If you would burn it first, I mean, then you could just, couldn't you just pull the metal out of it, pull the fridge out?
Let's say-
Let's see, let us see what it looks like tonight, and we'll get with you.
I mean,
It's much easier to take it out first.
Yeah.
Do-
I've done that.
I mean, it's not a basement, it's just a
I can
crawl
pick the
space.
whole house up and move it over.
do you have
crawl
any,
space.
do you have anything else to add to this, Rod? Anything that you have found out that you want to share, that you want to throw out there, ideas, comments, whatever? Now's your time.
Now, if we have any volunteers, the attorney said that we would have to have them sign a waiver.
Okay.
Property needs to be cleaned up.
That way it just covers us. If we come to that point where we need volunteers, because if this don't work out, we're gonna have to do something else.
Okay,
The judge is expecting you to get it cleaned up, isn't he?
We have to get it cleaned up. It can't stay the way it is.
Laura made a motion.
I'll second.
I,
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay.
I move we adjourn.
second,
Aye.
Can I ask a question?
Mickey, you seconded it?
yes, I did.
Thank you.
This was.
Yes, you can ask.
I just wanted to know what the intentions were with that, because I was wanting to just tell you that I want to buy that place, and I would take over that, and you could have a timeline, and Rod could keep track of it, because I've already sold some of my properties off. I have a house right there on the corner, and that would give me that block.
And so you're wanting to buy it and you will clean it up?
Yes,
Right.
that would save you guys some money, give you some money, as long as it's not an outrageous price.
Mickey.
But my husband, where he works, he has people that are certified, properly trained to, dispose of things and tear it down. And like I said, we could have a timeline.
I
Sure.
reached out to Wendy.
Rod could keep checking and say, hey,
I read that.
they're doing what they said they're doing, and-
The only thing I would have to say is, it has to be cleaned up.
yep,
It has to be.
But then you're gonna run into the problem that we're supposed to put it up for bid, the property when we're done with it, and people put in their bids. Remember how that goes?
We have to do a sealed bid on it.
on the purchasing of it.
Yeah, to make it legal and fair for everybody.
Because there might be more people that want it. Is there a way that she could bid on cleaning this up?
Thank you.
If
You're welcome.
you could put in a bid on cleaning it up with then the hopes that it came, then you bid on the property when it comes up. I mean, in a sealed bid. Does that make sense?
Well, it ain't gonna be any more foot in the doorway. I mean, you have to put it up, just like you did the property for the church.
And is that in the paper or something?
But now I have a question for you.
Yes.
You own the house that's burned on the corner there.
Nope, I don't want that.
Who owned that?
The kids that burned it, I gave it to them, and then he sold it to his brother.
So you did own it, because I'm not just dreaming.
I did it, no,
Okay.
I did own it
Okay.
at one time.
Perfect. I thought I did
And
I make that
then,
up.
yeah, and then they let the baby bed fall over on a furnace.
It doesn't matter. I was just curious how that.
Yeah, I've sold that property, I sold the one across the street from me, I sold the lot out,